Greetings everybody, my name is Robert Garcia, and the reason why I'm conducting this series of videos is because I would like to join the fight against the stigma associated with mental disorders. It turns out that many people that suffer from these conditions avoid seeking treatment simply because there is a stigma associated with those disorders. My intention here is to educate the general population about the etiology of mental disorders using first the power of education and the power of social media to distribute the information. Alright, so the title of this lesson is Why Should I Care About Mental Disorders? Before we get started, we need to define what stigma is all about. And stigma can be best understood by dividing it into its three basic subcomponents: stereotyping, prejudice, and discrimination. Stereotyping involves a false belief about a certain group of people. Prejudice involves an emotional response towards a stereotype, while discrimination involves a behavioral response towards a prejudice. So what we have is an idea that leads to a change in emotion that leads to a change in behavior. This following image indicates that around 18.6% of adults in the United States suffer from a mental condition. If we translate this into numbers, this will translate to 1 in every 5 Americans suffer from a diagnosable psychiatric condition. Another important fact that we can obtain from this figure is that females tend to have a higher incidence of mental conditions compared to males. The following data was obtained from a 20-year study conducted by the state of U.S. Health. Basically, what they did is they measured the burden of certain disorders using a unit known as DALYs. And as we can see, we have neuropsychiatric disorders occupying the first spot over here. Now, this number grows even higher if we consider that around 90% of the people that attempt suicide have a psychiatric condition. This is our agenda for the next few weeks. First, we're going to talk a little bit about a foundation. We're going to try to establish a good foundation of psychiatric conditions, first by talking about the historical events, and then talking about the neurobiology of behavior for a few weeks. Then we're going to be talking about affective disorders such as depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorders. After that, we're going to be moving on into psychotic disorders such as schizophrenia, and then the rest of the disorders as well. Alright, so now that we had the opportunity to discuss some data, let me talk to you a little bit about my background. I am a neuroscientist, and my work focuses in understanding the molecular basis of behavior. I am particularly interested in the areas of learning and memory, and what we do is we study this beautiful structure. This is a human brain composed of around 86 billion neurons. The most fascinating thing about this beautiful organ is the fact that we get to learn something new about this structure every single day. So if you're interested in learning more about psychiatric conditions, join me as we learn together about mental disorders and the etiology of these conditions. Thank you all for watching.